So a few days ago, I actually had the chance to read Absolute Batman. Now you might be wondering, Lohan, why did it take you so long to freaking read this book? So first of all, the comic store I usually go to closed down, so I couldn't get the book. And when I went to another comic shop that I actually could go to, they continuously had it sold out every time I went. So it just took so long to get one freaking book. But I have read the book, and I do have a lot to say about it. I have quite a few things to say about it. Some positive, but I will have to say that a lot of them are negative. The first thing I will talk about, this is kind of like my whole opinions on the Absolute Batman book. I like the plot. The plot was very interesting, had a lot of interesting details. However, this shouldn't have been a Batman story. I really don't think this works for Batman. Like with The Batman, the movie, I did like the plot. I really enjoyed the movie. But it didn't really seem like a Batman experience. It more seemed like a movie that had a character that was like Batman, but it wasn't Batman. They like put Batman's name onto it, you know, had the character and stuff, but on the surface, it's a Batman story. But getting actually into it, it's really not. A lot of things that are core to Batman are missing, you know. And I get that, you know, the whole Absolute line is about removing a certain part of these characters from their core being to see how they end up differently. But having it say Batman, it's just not. This is not Batman. This guy is not Batman, and the story is not a Batman story. For one, we'll get into this later, but you know, the character roles are just very weird. That, you know, Killer Croc, Penguin, Riddler, they're all like Bruce Wayne's friends. It's very weird. I don't know. Again, I didn't hate it. It really was not Batman. I do have to say that the art and the whole framing of the book, it was really good. I really did like it. I think it's penciled by Nick Dragotta, I think. Yeah, Nick Dragotta did pencil this. The art is really good. I love the colors. You know, there's a lot of reds, especially towards the beginning. There's just a lot of uses of reds and blues, which is very interesting for a Batman book. It's kind of deep purplish, you know. It's really cool. I like it. You really wouldn't assume that a Batman book would have a lot of red in it, other than like blood. There's just a lot of interesting color design choices, and I really do like it. I don't know why they decided to do this, but I don't hate it. This book is just really good in terms of the art. This is a very, very pretty book, especially in the color department. That's what I'm gonna say about it. Now, speaking about the character designs, specifically Black Mask. Now, I have no idea what's happening with him. Maybe this will be explained in the later issues, which there are 5 of. Interestingly, but we have his goons who are wearing the ape skull masks, which those are really cool. They're just very, very unsettling, especially in these panels right here, and it's very cool. I like it. But looking at Black Mask and whoever these guys are, I'm not too sure. I think it's his wife and kid. I don't know. And this other guy over here, but his mask isn't really a skull. We have like the skull mouth part, but other than that, it's like a dome. It just looks like they're aliens, especially with the tendrils. I have no idea what's happening. Maybe it will be explained in later issues, which, you know, that's probably the case. You can't just have something like this and not explain it unless they're retarded. Yeah, it's just very weird. It looks like the pilot from the Pearl Jam Do the Evolution music video. The dome itself just reminds me of a pilot helmet visor. The similarity is just so present. Should Black Mask have had the ape skull mask? I don't really know. I do like that his goons have that. Maybe his mask could have been like some other kind of skull, but right now it's just very weird. I don't really know what's happening with that. Now, speaking more on the plot, I really did find it weird that Bruce Wayne is like in this universe, like all like the Gotham classic supervillains. I don't know if they're normal people, but he's like friends with them. But are they criminals? I don't know. If they're not, then I guess that kind of makes sense. But if they are, that also, you know, it's just very weird. I don't know. Yeah, we have Maroni and Falcone in this. They're like mob bosses or like mob individuals, and that's what they are in this book. But for some reason, Penguin is like a part of Bruce Wayne's friend group. It's just very strange how they decided to pick and choose which characters' backgrounds to change and keep. You know, it's the first issue, so, you know, maybe it will be expanded on in later issues. I don't really know if they'll have time for that, especially with the whole the party animals kind of deal going on. That's probably going to be their focus, so I don't really know how you'd integrate this kind of side plot line with his friends into the story. So if the party animals does remain the main focus, expanding on Bruce Wayne's like friend group or like his life in general, I guess, it'll probably be like a low priority, so we probably won't get to know these characters a whole lot. Another thing I found interesting is that this book is 13 plus. This book is for individuals 13 or older. However, there is a lot of censored cursing, which is weird since I feel like they would have had to known that this was going to be a 13 plus book. Like literally in every page there's some censored swear. Either make the book for an older audience so that they don't have to censor every single one, which I'm pretty sure you can do. I don't know if you can still swear in like Black Label books. I don't remember. They had to have known that was supposed to be a 13 plus book. Which in that case, like why? It's like so overused. It's like why are they swearing like every single second? Straight out of freaking All-Star Batman and Robin. It's just very weird. And finally, this book seems like it's very heavily inspired by The Batman by Christopher Reeves. That is not who... Matt Reeves. It's not Christopher Reeves, Matt Reeves. It's very inspired by that movie. I see that because not only does Bruce Wayne look basically the same as he does in the Batman movie, you know, with his like Gerard Way haircut type deal. Not only in that, but like the part where he's like in the hoodie, in the hat, very, very reminiscent of that one scene in the Batman. So I'm guessing this is very inspired by that movie. Also, I'm pretty sure they race swapped Barbara Gordon for some reason, even though that Jim Gordon is... I'm assuming that he's white. He looks pretty white in this image. They also race swapped Catwoman, I think? I can't tell. I don't know. Which is pretty interesting. I don't know. Because in the Batman, she was also race swapped. So, interesting connection there. I don't know. But not only is the art kind of reflecting of the kind of visuals of the Batman, but the whole darker take on Batman that is kind of reminiscent of, you know, the whole point of the Batman. Very grounded, very dark take on the Bat. It really seems like it was inspired by that movie. Do I like that they did that? I like the Batman, and I also like this book, so I guess it's a good thing. It's just very, very weird that they decided to do that. All in all, this book, it wasn't terrible. It really was not terrible. I did enjoy it a bit, despite the fact that it really shouldn't have been a Batman book. I do still have that opinion, like I had in my first video. Absolute Batman should not have been about Batman. It should have been like a completely different character that existed in the main DC universe, as opposed to being an alternate version of Batman. That's what I think should have happened. But with what we have, it is a pretty good book. I just see a lot of people commenting after the book came out, like, oh, this video aged like milk, which is not really the case. You know, the whole point of the video was saying that this whole DC, Absolute DC line wouldn't have a lot of longevity, which, you know, could still be the case, given that we're only at issue 1 of Batman and Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman came out, so it's not completely confirmed whether this will succeed in the long term, because we're still in the early stages of this whole line, so it still remains to be seen whether it will succeed or fail. Based on what I had to experience with trying to get this book, do I think it's going to fail? Probably not fast. This Absolute line will not fail quickly. It'll take a long time for it to fail. There's a lot of intrigue with these characters, so unlike the other reimaginings DC has done, like Earth 1, I don't think there's this much intrigue for Earth 1, you know? So, I really don't know at this point. I don't know. Again, I do still think that it will fail, but I don't think it'll fail as relatively fast as Earth 1 did. It'll probably take a little bit longer for DC to cancel this one. My final ranking for Absolute Batman is going to have to be a 5 out of 10, respectfully. Let me know what you thought of Absolute Batman in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And do you think that my prediction is right, that the whole Absolute DC line will fail? Also, I have not bought Absolute Wonder Woman, which already came out, so I don't know if that's still in stock or not. You've been watching Lowhand. I've been Lowhand, and drive me home and back again.